Okay, I'm here with Brent Norling from Norling Law. So, Brent, I think it's probably a few people have already seen your face. You're a pretty well-known lawyer, and at the moment you're talking a lot about commercial leases and stuff. And we're going to get onto that in a separate video. But before that, I just wanted to first of all get a bit of background on who you are and your law firm, so we understand, who you actually are. And then if you could maybe go on and explain to us. For any business owners out there or sole traders that have invoices out there, they have, debts owed to them, and they're worried about these debts, they're struggling to get them, or they're worried that they're not going to get paid, or the company is going to fold. What are their options? What can they do? What would you suggest as a lawyer is the legal process to take to ensure you're following the correct steps?
Yeah, awesome. All right, so yeah, Brent Norling from Norling Law. So what we do is litigation dispute resolution. So we're a specialist firm. We don't do all the general practice areas. And so, I've got a background in insolvency. So I spent 7 years working exclusively for liquidators and receivers. So that's my core focus. But commercial disputes is what we do. I established Norling Law in 2015, and grown it ever since. So yeah, I think getting paid during this time is crucial, and the message from the government is pay your debts as per usual, and because I think everyone's initial instinctive reaction is just to contract.
Stop.
Like, yeah, I need to hold everything, and I need to see how this plays out, which is really unhelpful, especially if you're a small business. And I am hearing some stories around big businesses not paying small businesses at the moment, and it's pretty rough. And so it is a very fluid situation, is the popular term, and it's true. So things are evolving. So right now, date of this video, it's the court is open for urgent matters, and it is open to do audio-visual kind of hearings, but that's going to evolve, and we're going to get a lot more clarity around what those kind of last resort options are later. But I think it is important that businesses continue a debt recovery process, and at this time, I think it's a great opportunity just to pick up the phone and talk to your customers. How are you going? Check in, and also say, look, I know it's a hell of a time, but we really need that invoice paid. And that's the first stage, is a really friendly, caring conversation. And after that, if there's not payment, it is about the next stage of, look, you're not leaving us much options.
At that point, because we've just hit the 20th of the month, and there's probably a few people that were expecting payments that didn't get expecting payment, that haven't received them. So jump on the phone, talk to the business, get an idea. Should they also send them an email or document in that some way? Is there some process that they need to follow? This is the CEO. This is a great way to do business, surrounded by family.
Yeah, this is our life now, eh? So absolutely. So next stage is definitely following that up with an email, and kind of getting that progressively firmer as they don't pay, and look, if they're struggling as well, I think it's also about having a conversation around what both parties might be able to live with. So maybe a payment plan is available. Maybe they can pay you weekly or monthly. Negotiate that, and if that's acceptable, then it's a time to cut those kind of deals. And for larger amounts, I think people are going to want to move a lot quicker than that. So one unpaid invoice, if it's a large amount, could actually make or break a business at a time like this. So for invoices like that, I think really decisive action is needed. So that's where a lawyer might come in, and that's where you might want to say, hey, look, now we need a firm lawyer's letter. If it's a company, statutory demand, liquidation proceedings might be in order. Now, at a time like this, we're not really certain how the court is going to be processing and dealing with those, but we can expect a sympathetic approach. And so it's going to be case by case, and there's literally no cases that have gone through the process yet at this time. So we're all kind of learning as we go.
So it's probably more prudent, rather than to rely on the traditional steps of to get your money, to talk it out with them and see if you can come to an agreement and work out what's happening.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't happen, then they can call someone like you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
And we offer a free 30-minute legal consult to people who need help. And, we can go through the problem and some solutions. And, sometimes it's DIY, and sometimes it's, you need to gear up and actually have a lawyer take care of it.
Yeah. I mean, I've having been in business a while, and and had some lean times and some tough times before. I've always learned during those times that it's often good to be 2 or 3 steps ahead of what may happen, and have things in place, because things can change really quickly, and you don't want to be relying on something being paid by someone, and then you're not, and then it's taking you another month or 5 weeks or 6 weeks before you can actually get any reaction from them or instigate anything. So
yeah,
I guess advice to people out there is, if they have got outstanding debts, if they're nervous about it, worried about it, to maybe contact those people now, those companies now, and start the conversation. Cool. Thanks for the chat. I think we're going to catch up again and talk about commercial leasing, because I know there's a lot of questions around that. So we'll see you again. Thanks for your time.
All right. Cheers.
Excellent.